Hi, my name is Zen, and I'm the former leader of Homeland Wolf Amino. Former, because by the time you're seeing this, I can almost guarantee it's been shut down. This, of course, is because the leaders of Wolf Amino decided to come over, and one of them in particular actually sent me threats. Of course, she went by the name of Willow. I'm not going to bother to try and hide her name because I think that she needs to actually face consequences for what she's done. Now, I know from experience that it's quite easy to fake conversations because a lot of people have used that against me on Wolf Amino when I was still on there when the old leader was still active. A lot of people were trying to fake conversations with me and a bunch of other people that I know with fake threats and all that. But I do know that it's much harder to fake a video, which is what I'm going to show you today, because I have screenshots, of course, but I do believe that I should show you a video as real proof. Alright, so as you can see here, at first she was just talking about the fact that one of the members of my community had stolen art from Wolf Amino, which I can understand completely. And I told her that she was in a different time zone. I didn't want to wake her up at 5 in the morning to talk to her about this and tell her when she woke up. She gave me a suggestion to do something about it now, and I did. And she proceeded to threaten me. Needless to say, I was really uncomfortable with the whole situation. However, I do work as a secretary, so one thing I do know is that the meaner they get, the nicer you should get. So that's what I did, because I wanted to seem as professional as possible as the leader of an amino. However, I do think it's extremely unacceptable for members of Wolf Amino to be threatening a much smaller community. I think it's unacceptable for anyone to be threatening anybody, quite frankly. However, this case obviously is pretty specific. I do feel absolutely terrible for anyone who has her as their first impression of an amino leader. I promise not all of us are like that. Most of us care tremendously about our aminos and their members. I'd also like to point out that while this girl does sound like she's 13 threatening me like this, she's actually not. I wish she was. However, she's going off to college soon. So please don't let this dissuade you from actually joining Wolf Amino, because she's not going to be there for much longer. But she's power hungry. Obviously, she only cares about being in control. And she's an adult. She's going to be going off into the world acting like that soon enough. Willow, if you're watching this, I want you to know that that kind of behavior is going to land you in jail. I'm not trying to be threatening. However, I do want you to know that that is a crime to threaten someone like that. I'm sure you know that by now, being that you're basically an adult. However, it's completely unacceptable. I do know that somebody did something wrong in my community. However, I do have a full-time job and can't keep track of everything. I had 3 other leaders, and one of them slipped up. I apologize. However, there's really not much I can do. I can't survey them every second of the day. And I'm sorry that you had a problem with something. However, I solved it and you were still throwing a fit. So, please don't threaten anyone again. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to see you land in jail. Obviously, I'm not very fond of you. However, I don't hate you. So I don't want to see you end up in jail or prison or anything. I want you to have a good life, and I hope you're happy. In order to show you that I am not faking this, I'm going to show you, here's our conversation again, and I'm going to click her name right here, or her profile picture. And it does indeed take me to her profile, and shows down here at the flag this character and leader the art belongs to Zabuza, or however you pronounce that, that the post is no longer available because I took it down. So I did do what she asked, and yet she still threatened me. Again, here's the proof that this is her.